Are you guys awake? Are you guys ready for this? Or is it just me?
Good
Good
morning. I'm
morning,
sorry.
everyone.
Okay, Jesus the fuck Christ. Thank you. Good
I
morning.
was trying to make it to a better location. Like the lawn service is out cutting
What are
grass.
you doing? Are you out cutting grass?
No, the lawn service is. So I'm like, can I find a place quiet? Sorry.
Oh my gosh. All right, you guys. Let's get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters,
This is a journey into sound.
The fattest, funkiest tunes in town.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
All right. Hey everybody. We meet again at this time and at this place. My name is Elaine Adams. Some people call me Stock Mom. And it's time for the Stockhouse U Premarket Show. Let me explain a little bit about its features. In this show, we do top-down analysis. We talk about futures, indices, ETFs, individual stocks. We love talking about the news over here at Stockhouse U. We also talk about our trades, both good and bad, and the psychology behind them. Now, one thing that we don't do, and we will never do, is give out financial advice. Another thing that we'll never do is ask you for your money to trade with. And if somebody does ask you for that, you should tell them to go fuck themselves. Now, what we will do and what we want to do is tell you why we take the trades that we do and a little bit about what we're thinking about as we prepare to get into the market today. Now, if you have something you want to add to this conversation, if you think that there's somebody who should hear it, go ahead and ping them in. If you want to come and hop up on stage with us, please do so. We love it. Raise your hand. You're more than welcome. Everybody at any level is welcome on this stage. I'm joined by some of my favorite people. Vanessa, Liv, Christopher. And I see some familiar faces in the audience as well. Now, normally we like to start our days off with a quote, and I'll start it off today. And then I'll allow everybody else to introduce themselves, and we'll get into it. So, today my quote is by Lawrence Peter, and it goes like this. An economist is an expert who will know tomorrow why the things he predicted yesterday didn't happen today. So many times I've come into the show and had, conflicting takes one day from the next. And I don't know any analyst or person who participates in the market who is 100% right. I don't think that this market is a place where you're supposed to be 100% right. And honestly, I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't try to predict the future. But I do try to give myself reasonable levels and ways that I can react appropriately given any sort of future chance. And that really actually ties in strongly to the ideology behind doing this morning show in the first place. I just want to talk about the levels. I want to say both bullish and bearish cases for everything. It's really important to me in my trading process particularly, so I'm so happy that we get to do that on a daily basis. Vanessa, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. I got a little distracted. But anyways, so my quote for this morning actually comes from Kareen. Yesterday I was in her room and someone came on stage and asked a question. And then they kind of like proceeded to answer the question. And Kareen was like, listen, mute your mic and sit back and soak up this love. And I really like that because sometimes we just have to sit back, relax, and take the information that is being given to us. sometimes we don't know everything. So sometimes it's good to just soak up the love that people have to give you. My name's Vanessa. I'm done speaking.
I appreciate that, Vanessa. We do a lot of talking, and it really is important sometimes to, receive some information. So, great point. Liv, good morning.
Good morning, Elaine. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. My quote for today is I don't believe you have to be better than everybody else. I believe you have to be better than you ever thought you could be. When it comes to trading, don't worry about the profits that everyone else is making. Don't worry about their losses. Learn from their mistakes. But most importantly, make sure that every day that you trade, you make more profits than the next and than the previous. And I say that just because $20 in difference in profit today could make a real difference as you keep growing. So don't worry about whatever anyone else makes.
Yeah, I love that too. I always say profit is profit. I don't care if it's a penny or $20 or 2 million. I'm with you. That's great, Liv. Christopher, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. And yes, I have a quote today. We're going to Seth Godin, and it's how dare you settle for less when the world has made it so easy for you to be remarkable?
Sheesh. Yeah, you're coming in heavy with that one.
Chris dropped the mic with that one.
Good morning, Siobhan.
Good morning, Elaine. I have a quote. I just heard it from my boss like 2 minutes back. He just told me one thing: show me the money. That's my quote for the day.
Wow, short, sweet, and to the
I
point.
like your boss.
Yeah, he is a boss. He's a CEO, so he just screwed me. Like, show me the money. I don't care what's happening in the market.
Hey, that's what it is. Good morning, Alec. How are you feeling today?
Good morning, Elaine. I'm feeling good as always. I have a quote. Even if things don't unfold the way you expected, don't be disheartened or give up, for only those who continue to advance win in the end.
Yeah, totally. Right. I mean, literally everybody who's been trading for some significant amount of time has blown through some significant amount of money. It's inevitable, and it's like getting back into it after that. That's the hard part. Waking up after a couple days of red. That's the fucking hard part. It's not when you're doing green. It's not when things are great. So I appreciate that. Yeah, for the people just joined on stage, Mohammed Roger. Good morning. You can just say hey. You don't have to have a quote.
Good morning. I do have a quote.
Oh, go for it.
Um, it's by Ray Dalio. Recognize that the biggest threat to good decision making is harmful emotions, and decision making is a two step process: fast learning and then deciding.
Oh, I love that too. Fast learning is a huge part of it. I used to listen to these Navy quotes, not to even whatever, but they were just like implement it at the speed of instruction. This idea that you could take in knowledge and really put it to work. I truly believe that the knowledge that we gain here is important and affects how I go through the market. That's a great quote, Mohammed. Good morning, Roger.
Yeah, my quote would be the question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me.
Yeah,
Everyone came out here swinging this
we
morning.
came in heavy. Yeah, that's a great addition. Thank you so much, Roger. And good morning, Zev. Oh, he's probably like on a Peloton ripping through things.
No. Sorry. Mornings are tough. I'm just listening in. I don't have a quote.
Oh, it's all good, man. Always happy to have you come hang out.
I guess I'll go with the one I always go to. Buy when there's blood in the streets, even if the blood is your own.
I don't know why people are clapping for that, but yeah, sure, why not? Let's clap. I
It'll
kind
make
of
you.
agree.
It'll make you a lot of money. It worked for the Rothschilds. It'll work for you.
That's the truth. Buy red, sell green, right, Zeph?
Exactly. Exactly. Which you're not doing if you're just chasing every single rotation mindlessly.
Oh no, it's not to be done. This is not. If you could just calculate your way perfectly into being the best trader, everybody would do it. There is an art form behind this, and it's not singular. With that said, let's talk futures, yeah. All right, but seriously, so I want to go over to the Nasdaq futures first. I think that we're once again sitting at this part. So we had a beautiful doji of a candle day yesterday, and what does that mean? Well, for me, it shows a little bit of hesitancy. It shows a little bit of indecision, and that has been the storyline of this particular index for a while now. Indecision. We sit between 2 points. We'd love to break over that 13,000 level and start to establish a leg up, and it seems as though we just can't currently. So yesterday we closed at 12,944. Today we open at 12,859. It's a little bit of a step down. We're kind of pushing down towards our 100-day moving average, which we have held above over the past, let's see, since the beginning of March, where we crossed under it and then for 1, 2, 3, 4 days and then proceeded to hold above it. I am really liking a little bit of this setup. I think that this is constructive and it's starting to build us towards something. Now, I can't tell you what, but we can say that our consolidation range is getting tighter and tighter, and this is across all of the major indices. I find this to be extremely important because what happens after a consolidation? A break in one direction or another, right? We've also seen the story of increasing volatility. However, if you compare candle size from the last, month, moving towards today, we are seeing a decrease in volume, which is another sign that we're moving kind of towards whatever break in direction that we're going to see, right? You see that range start to, consolidate and become smaller and smaller as we move towards one side, the top or the bottom, and we expect this. Now, I think that one thing that I have sort of enjoyed a little bit is like a decoupling of complete correlation with the 10-year going up and the Nasdaq going down. Although there still is, you can draw a tie, or you can say that we're seeing a rotation, or you can say that that the economic policies are still creating an air where people aren't confident to dump into growth stocks. You could say that a number of fundamental reasons why the pullback on the Nasdaq could make sense beyond just what's going on with the 10-year now. And no matter what it is, I'm okay. So let's just go back to the levels. I'd love to see us hold over this 12,700 level. Underneath that, and we definitely have a leg down. The lowest that we've been since then in recent history would be 12,200. Above that, I would really love to see a hold. I talked yesterday about this 50-day moving average and how it's become, just one of the metrics. I would love to see us hold above our 50-day, as we do hold on the 100-day moving average right now, and start to be a little constructive. And hey, if we're going to consolidate, I would love a consolidation towards the upside. If I'm going to be honest, kind of not this sort of centralized moving down sort of thing, but it is what it is. So if we can hold above, so our 50-day moving average is at the 13,100 level. And then above that, the most previous major resistance that we've came up against and been rejected from 1, 2, almost 3 times since February 24th would be the level at 13,300. But for me, even a hold above 13,000 would be great, as currently it seems as though we're just struggling to hold that level. Moving on over to the S&P 500 futures. Similar story, different place. So we are now doing a consolidation on the high side. And this is something that I'm really into. We call this a high base consolidation, where we are consolidating and holding towards a top line, and the lows are coming up to this high. Now, yesterday we closed at 3,000. Yesterday we closed at 3,959, and currently we sit at 3,943. The levels that I'd love to see held for this are the 3,920 level. I think that if we can hold this consolidation, it would be really constructive and really point us towards the upward direction in the S&P 500. Although we have nothing but fairly difficult economic news going on right now, whether it's from COVID cases. I mean, we'll talk about all of that in our news section. So on the other side of this equation is the potential for a major pullback, and it wouldn't be, this wouldn't even change my bullishness on the nature of the S&P. Right? So many people talk about this. A 10% correction really isn't a crazy thing. And so we're prime in position for that as well. But very seriously, we are once again pushing against this all-time high, and I'd love to see us hold above, the third, 3,927 level would be nice. Underneath that, I could see us going all the way down to 3,865. And once again, this correlates with our SPY, as in when I'm saying 3,943, like you can relate that to the 394 level, right? And know that that's what the future contract is going to be represented at. Last but not least, we can talk about the Russell, which was just demolished over the past few days and took one of the largest pullbacks over the major indices, whereas the Dow Jones really didn't respond the same way. So we'd been trading in this 2,200 to 2,300 range on our Russell futures, for quite some time now, since February. And to see us break underneath that, well, we have definitely some legs down to go. If you were to do fib retracement, you could see that maybe the 2000 level is absolutely reasonable to expect this thing to be. And sorry, let me call it out. So yesterday we closed at 21.55, and today we're opening at 21.49. Not much of a down red day. However, every single day that we've seen all of our major indices end in the red right now, at least for the past 1-2, we've seen the Russell take significant pullbacks. Do we have support at this 2147 level? We absolutely do. And we are seeing it kind of hold to this. However, when I see the major supports that have been validated multiple times, over 10 times in the past 3 months become broken, I'm not really looking to these minor supports that have just been formed and start to show a little bit of a base. I'm expecting us to move to a leg down and go once again back to historical supports. A lot of times people who read charts will just say, look to the left, zoom out. Right? These new patterns, these new formations tend to correlate with older patterns that have happened in the history of a stock or ETF or index as well. And for me here, that just leads us to believe that there's a little bit more room to go. Also, just in terms of moving averages, once again, this is getting rejected by the 50-day moving average, which sits at 2,200. And it's, the next leg down in terms of that, I would look for it to touch the 100-day moving average, which sits at 2,000, just where I'm kind of expecting this to go via fib retracements, via moving averages, and just in terms of the idea of a correction. So with that said, that's me on the futures, and anybody else wants to chime in, I'm so down. And if not, Chris can go into oil.
I think I'll quickly jump on S&P 500. It's kind of interesting when you try to compare S&P 500 and look into the smaller caps as well, including Russell, Nasdaq, and everything. S&P 500 for the last 3 weeks did not have a bad closure of week, while Nasdaq and Russell are continuously facing challenges. This generally for me means that as these yields are going to go up, even if it's by 0.1%, what we are seeing is that these potential growth opportunities in the stocks, for example, if there is QuantumScape, right, or all of these new specs which have had so much liquidity in the market, this is going to be a downtrending change, which we are going to see in the long term. That these things won't be happening, or we won't see like QuantumScape having first big revenue after 5 years, becoming a $60 stock. So I feel the market is changing its behavior over the course of last 2 months or almost 6 weeks now, and we will see more of this going forward, where S&P 500 is going to continue to find its solidity around 384, 385, 390, even try to cross that 396, 397, but at least it continued to find that stability, not even going back to 378, to be honest. But the overall other caps, including Nasdaq, Russell, they will continue to have small bit of blows going forward. I think this market is really evolving itself.
Thank you, Faisal. Hello.
Yeah, totally. I can at least agree in some part. We've seen the range tighten, and I fully agree. It's also been very interesting watching the volume on the market kind of, teeter to the lower side, especially on certain days. it does make me wonder when we're going to see some of these market participants hop back in on an institutional level, because you know what, we are kind of trading in a range right now, and that's tradable. It's extremely tradable. Anybody else? All right, Christopher, take it away with the oil, please.
All right. So, sorry, let me move to a better background because I already hear the lawn service coming back around. So,
No,
it's
Chris,
gonna
how
hit
much lawn do you have?
a lot. Anyway, yeah, so we're looking at, well, first we got to go over a couple of things in the news before I can break it down because there's a lot of factors here that are involved or are rotating around supply and demand. And so, first things first, we have to talk about, the ramifications of, the Suez Canal and how that's going to impact, right? So, I did a little bit of back end research, and I guess, the supply issue is going to slowly trickle up, and that's what we're kind of expecting, a slow climb. Um, and as reality starts to set in, that this was, extremely impactful on the entire industry. I wanted to do like some alternative research as far as what they could have done. They actually had three alternative routes. So the Red Sea would have taken an extra 28 days to reroute some of those ships. The Panama Canal, the ships are actually too big to fit through that. So only a certain amount of ships can actually even move through that route. And it would have taken about a similar days. I mean, a similar days, but they would have had to like cut the ships down, and it would have been like double or triple the amount of ships that have to move through. And so essentially, this was a big deal because a lot of ships chose to just wait. And Zev, I know we were talking about it in the room. I wanted, if it was not yesterday, I think it was yesterday, about how it was going to play out, and we were talking about clean energy, and actually, yeah, they're actually going to be looking at regulations and rerouting regulations, and how it's going to play into the effect of the cost of oil because these routes are going to take a lot longer. The other thing we have to get into is lockdowns. And I mean, we have Germany, India, Berlin, Quebec. Biden is always talking about how we're having a setback in vaccinations, and Canada. And a lot of these people are also seeing the effects of the thrombosis that are coming from the AstraZeneca vaccination. And so I believe the AstraZeneca vaccine is going to come to a halt here really soon. Okay, so that being said, oil on the WTI side is falling to $60 a barrel. And we see that, the futures kind of, follow right along where that price per barrel falls. So we're at 60, 62. I believe it's going to stay in that 60, 62, maybe 59, 87 if it chooses to trickle down a little bit before we start to see that slow climb up. And then Brent, we're at that $64 range. And I mean, we've been trading there for a while now. It's just going to sit there and hold between the sorry, the 63.79 range and 65 because it wasn't as heavily affected as the other side of things. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at as far as oil today.
Yeah, thanks for that, Chris. Yeah, actually, we are going to, let's see, I am expecting like a crude oil report, like a stock change report today.
Oh my gosh, OPEC. I'm sorry, OPEC.
OPEC's on Thursday.
Yeah, OPEC is on Thursday, and so I did wanted to add in that while this might trickle down today, you should see some hype start to get into what they're going to talk about, and because we think they're going to be consistent with what they said last month as far as a slow, consistent growth, and that should reignite the next leg up, is what a lot of people are expecting as far as sentiment.
Yeah, absolutely. Although we keep seeing a lessening of oil pulling, at the same time, at least our last crude oil stock change, we saw a rise, an increase of 2.927 million barrels, and so this also kind of comes into effect where we're still seeing a rise in supply, although it's not maybe as fast as it is. And if you look at the total number of oil rigs that are active pre-COVID till now, I mean we're still not quite there. However, there has indeed been an increase on basically every level, and so it will be interesting to see how OPEC responds yet again. They have no problem not keeping to lower levels. However, we do have this COVID thing, and I cannot believe the head of the CDC got on and said that she was feeling like it was impending doom. Not because I don't agree with her, maybe, but like that is such an I don't know, that is such a big statement from somebody in a place of power like that. So to see that the 7-day average rose in 25 different states uh, is indeed alarming. And I think that of all the things to kind of be watching out for, it's something that we should definitely look for on a market level. Do I think? I mean, does anybody think we're going to see a pullback the same way that happened last March? No way, right? That's just my prediction. Lord only knows. I am open to the argument.
There's only one thing that I think would lead it to that, and that would have to be if this meeting between Biden, Putin, and Xi Jinping goes the wrong way. But that would be the only thing that I think would be a heavy enough catalyst for it to tank it.
Oh, tank. I don't know about tank, man. I think that I think that there's the possibility. I mean, there's a money making opportunity in that too.
I don't think there will be. There's an Asian student that created a model that's been tracking COVID since the start, and his model has been 90% accurate, where it's beat like companies that have put resources and money, and his model has been accurate. And but I bring that up to the point that he predicts that by the end of July we should be completely done with COVID. So, based on his statistics and the math that he's put out, I don't think we will. I think we're doing really well to move forward to that. But I do agree with what Chris says. I think if that meeting goes south, then we might see some, volatility more
I
than
mean,
we what we see now.
but you guys, we love sanctions. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Do I think U.S. manufacturing production is really up to the job? No, but it means elevated prices for things, which is like completely tradable. And the stuff that is domestically made, it's been going to the moon. Who looked at U.S. steel yesterday? Who was playing Timken steel? Who was playing any of these U.S. based commodities? Because they're going through the roof right now. And also to this other thing, Liv, does that guy's model take into account that the new variants don't respond to the previous vaccines?
Right. He actually spoke about that because it was on the news. I'm going to search for the link and then put it in the Discord so everyone can see.
Oh, I'm into it. If he does address that, I'm kind of down.
I haven't seen anything that says the new variants don't respond to the vaccine though. Just I don't think that's accurate.
I can post something in your DMs or maybe on our Discord as well. There's specific. So it is true. And there are specific whatever DNA. I don't know. They're like this variant 425. It has this particular change in it, and that makes it X amount more resistant to the particular vaccines. There definitely are particular qualities in each of these variants, and we're seeing
I mean, it could
combinations
be
of
that it's
those.
slightly less effective.
Yep,
But which variant is that? Is that from which country?
they're all in the U.S.
No, no,
Specifically,
no.
the new variant
The
that like
origin of it. I mean,
oh, I don't know, Mohammed. I'm not like a super expert on this thing.
because right now when you look at like the data from like UK,
Mhm.
the UK variant, which was like supposedly like one of the worst as far as the vaccine response. Right now, UK like the curve has been going down sharply, and they're doing really great, while the same variant is now so very prevalent in Europe and causing the spikes there. So it's shown that if you vaccinate, no matter what, you're gonna bring you can get to um, herd immunity, no matter the variant. And 538 is a really good website. Like Nate Silver, following him on Twitter, from all sorts of things. But he's always talked about COVID data in vaccines and stuff, and there's a lot of good insights you can get, and kind of cuts through the misinformation and ambiguity of things.
Yeah, I'm not going to go straight through the data, but I think it is worthy of talking about. And if you want, even to like do another room after, like not after this today, because I'm literally looking at like different whatever different types of variants that, like you said, just are reducing the efficacy and they're combining, and it seems as though I mean, what I read says that no, that the vaccines are not in fact responsive to every single variant, especially some of the newer ones. And that's the thing; it's a virus. It's going to constantly change. So if we have this static, vaccine thing where it takes so much time to come out with a new vaccine and respond, I don't know. But I'm not a doctor, and so to your point, I'm not going to like try to dive deep and, and explain my point. I see the variance and we see the uptick in cases. With that said, unless anybody else has like a really great take on that, I say we keep it moving and move into our. Today is a trash trades day, or is it a treat yourself day?
It is a treat yourself day. And actually, we have a special treat yourself today.
Hey everybody! I hope you're treating yourself. Oh my gosh!
Hey, Lane. Hey, real quick. Can you reset real quick before we do that? That's
Yeah,
not.
sure. Let's do it.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first place every morning you should stop to get your stock market news. That's right, I'm talking about the morning show presented by Stockhouse University. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. This is a conversation amongst friends that love talking about stocks and want to improve our profitability by coming here every day, talking about the market, relevant news, and how we're going to use that information to be profitable. We think education should be accessible and affordable to everyone, so we have a free Discord that has tons of resources and over 1,800 amazing members at all different skill levels that are also talking about the market, and they're trying to grow as well. We also do free classes on Sundays, and we would love it if you would join that community and contribute, because together we are so much more powerful than we are individually. Invite your friends, invite your family. Let's all create opportunities for generational wealth. Also, if you like the conversations that we have here, make sure to click the greenhouse on the top and join the community. We'd love to continue the conversations, and we would love it if you guys would contribute every time we're on stage, not just in the Stockhouse U family. Thank you.
All right. With that said, go for it, Christopher.
All right, cool. So, guys, today we're going to talk about Treat Yourself, and it's the one at the beginning of the week, because normally for Treat Yourself, we try to keep it on the towards the end of the week. So we're talking about what we're doing, take a day off for the weekend, things like that. Today we have something special, and if you guys remember our segment the last time we did that, we covered, Stockhouse U, TRT's very own Alex Zamora covered the fact that he was going to be buying income. And so he did just that. And now I'm going to give the mic to Alec and let him share what he did.
Yeah, hi everyone. First of all, pleasure to always be here. But yeah, I always preach that, especially. The market is so choppy right now, but regardless, it comes up, it comes down. It's important to hedge yourself in other areas. And so yeah, this weekend I bought a triplex. I'm closing May 5th or May 3rd. And I'm very excited to get into a new hustle, if you will, in the real estate world.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. And I just kind of wanted to, ask you what was you kind of explained why you did it as far as hedging your bet. But like, honestly, we would kind of wanted to know what got you started and where you decided that you were going to be an entrepreneur and have multiple sources of income.
Yeah, so I think, that's a great question, Chris, but I think it's important to know that anyone who is a millionaire has on average 6 to 7 forms of income. So while I'd love to get there by just trading and chopping it up with everyone in Stockhouse U every day, that's just not realistic for the average person who's trying to become a millionaire, because of months like March, when it pulls back like this. So to me, I started when COVID hit, last March. I've been working from home ever since. I already had a pretty successful side personal training business, but I started to do other things as well. So now I affiliate market and make about an extra 30K from that a year. I personal train, make about an extra 30K from that a year. So I'm like, okay, I have three incomes now. And then I got very into trading, not just investing. I've always been a very big dividend investor, and I this is a different subject, but I don't think it gets talked enough about on Twitter because it's not sexy. I had that, and then I got very into trading, and then I decided when I met someone who's become a very close friend and mentor of mine on Twitter. Those of you who are in FinTwit, you probably, well, maybe you don't, but if you do know him, his name's Chris Johnson, and he kind of took me under his wing. And I started saving for an investment property. So yeah, I think it's important to know that while trading is one really important piece of wealth building, if you're truly trying to build generational wealth, real estate and things that you can pass on to your children like that are super important.
No, definitely. We 100% agree, and thank you for shedding some light on that. Now that is done, we have like 2 more minutes if anybody else wants to share a way that they treated themselves this past week, or if anybody even wants to go after that. Now's the time.
Alec, you got it, champ. That's amazing, and I'm so happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I would like to use these last 2 minutes to tell Mohammed that I'm reading the CDC website where they're talking about dangers and potential consequences of the emerging variants. And one of them is the ability to evade natural or vaccine induced immunity because of the polyclonal response that targets several parts of the spike of protein. The virus would need to accumulate multiple mutations in that spike protein to evade immunity induced by vaccine or by natural infection. And we are seeing that continue to happen as we see the cases spike. God damn it.
I hate you.
I'm not like deeply knowledge, like, this is not my area of expertise, so I'm not like conversational about it, but I have been reading it. I'm just saying I'm not like totally full of shit.
Well, now he's gone.
I
Scared him
know.
off the
Look what
stage.
you did.
God damn it. All right, fine. Let's talk about Spy Live.
Don't put me in after all that. All right, so Spy this morning is kind of doing what it did yesterday. In the pre-market, if we remembered yesterday, I had told you guys that Spy was 394, and it's 394 again today. I'm looking at the 1 hour chart, and I'm seeing that it's it's giving kind of the same formation as yesterday as well. I'm a little hyped because on the daily we noticed that as it ended off on 395, we broke out of um, the downward channel that we were on, and the thing that gives me a little bit of alarm is that the daily is showing an indecision on the, it's not exactly an engulfing. So I believe that today we're going to go again to retest for 397. My entry, if I had to go for the upside, it would definitely have to be once we hit 396, and we did that yesterday. So I'm looking for that test again, and hopefully from there on we could move forward towards the 400. If not, and if we just gap down from the morning, I'm expecting a gap down if it can't hold support at 394. And if it can't, then it's most likely going to move back down to 392. And other than that, I think that right now this range, although it brings people fear, like Elaine was saying earlier, I mean a 10% is nothing at this level. So it's not really that scary, but if you love to trade within a range, this is your time to shine. You can go up, down, and make money both ways. As I've been seeing some of our people in the Discord have been doing that. So
Hell yeah, we love trading Spy around these parts, and it has been beautiful. I mean, catching the patterns instead of catching the emotions of how it's been working, because I mean, nothing's typical, but there definitely have been some new patterns forming. And for me, at least, I would love it to test that 397 level as well. I'm looking for a pullback to the 393. I mean, we closed at 395 yesterday, and we're sitting at 394 right now. I'd love a little bit of a sell off in the morning. And the ability to just come and pick up right at that 393 level and ride it back up. And if we break below that, I'm definitely looking to hold over 390. Um, but we are seeing a little bit of a tightening of the range. So I really do agree with your levels and kind of the thesis. For me, I'm definitely not holding for the breakout. I don't expect breakouts, and also we've been in this situation where we're seeing a lot of breakouts fail very consistently. So for me, I'm definitely wanting to trade inside of that range if we can see some sort of validation of the supports or of the previous levels that we've kind of held into. I would be really all over this thing. I just don't post the Spy trades every day, but oh my God, Spy has just been delivering and giving us both the volatility and kind of respecting the level and staying inside of this trend, which is not the worst tradable trend I've had for sure. Anybody else looking at Spy with us?
I kind of am, in relative to the fact that Tesla's like multiple negative catalysts going on this morning, and I'm just watching it trickle down.
Oh,
Yeah, even
hell
went below
yeah.
600.
But I
at
don't.
one
I want to
point.
save that for the news.
No,
But
no,
oh
let's get to the
god,
news right now. I don't even care. Let's cool. We talked about
please,
Spike.
can
Get
we beat
straight to
up
the news.
Tesla right now,
No, yeah, let's go
please?
to the news. Let's do
They
this.
you'll love this, Elaine. They double charged people for cars last night. It broke after the market closed.
This is Tesla.
Yeah,
Tesla,
this is
Holy
Tesla.
shit!
Keep on going. There's got to be more. What's the public sentiment on something like that?
I mean, I would assume not high.
Okay, can we also talk about Kathy Woods dropping in this ARK X ETF today? Like, is today the day? I kind of look at the.
Yeah, no, we're not jumping in right now unless we're trading it up and getting out.
I mean, even in terms of trading it out, it's just like a shaky Nasdaq. Like, this is a time when big tech's not really like the greatest place to just dump your money into, unless you're doing the long term thing. But I don't know if you want to hop into something on day one, especially with that expense ratio, which we kind of talked about yesterday in that room, which was great. Shout out to Carrington. But yeah, I mean, why would somebody pay the expense ratio to have exposure to a bunch of stocks that we have exposure to and plenty of other ETFs in a sector that is currently, trading sideways to down?
Yeah, so a Tesla. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I was going to say not only did they do that, but they did have a little bit of a positive catalyst this morning as well. So we do want to trade that. Look at that for the potential way to hold it up. But not only did they do that, but yesterday they also said the near-term cell supply makes it hard to scale the semi trucks. And so that is also sending it down. However, they are potentially jumping into a partnership with Toyota.
They also crashed a truck yesterday too. So right after Elon said that it was going to be hard to scale the truck, one of their trucks crashed in New Jersey.
Right. And also, we know SpaceX isn't public right now, so we know it's kind of the reason that Tesla's overvalued. And the trial failed this morning, and the rocket crashed.
Oh, the new SpaceX rocket crashed already?
Yep. Like, Tesla's going to hell.
I mean, okay, so here's the thing. Like, everybody who is bullish on Tesla talks about, like, it's not an automotive company, it's a technology company, it's a software company. They shouldn't care whether or not any of these things happen with the automotive part of it, because that's clearly not where they expect to see the majority of the profits come in the future, right? It's such a crazy little dance that you have to do to justify holding on to Tesla. Like,
Can I input my thoughts on all this?
please,
I
Luke.
love you guys. I really do believe in DD. I really do. But if this stock can exist like it does, he just gotta, send out a tweet and then his followers are gonna pump the stock. That's really just what I see. Kathy Wood is gonna come on, tell her $4,000, $6,000 prediction, and business.
Don't you think that's going to get stopped eventually, though, Lay, here with Elon being tweeted? Don't you think the government's going to come down on him soon?
Listen, I'm on your side. Trust me. I really hate that this can even go on this long, but if I've been left down before, it's gonna happen again.
So the tractor trailer, it wasn't the tractor trailer that crashed with Tesla's tractor trailer. It was a Tesla. It was a Tesla that did crash with a tractor trailer due to a driver being distracted in New Jersey.
Does anybody have any non-Tesla related news?
Yeah, AstraZeneca. Like, I know I talked about it as far as like affecting lockdowns and things like that, but yeah, how about it's giving people thrombosis? Yeah. So 55 people and up, and I think I just read something that was like off the wall. Like Germany Vaccination Commissions recommends AstraZeneca for only people men and women that are over 60 years old. But if I'm not mistaken, isn't that the people that are getting sick?
Yeah, I was saying the same because I saw that they Canada took it off of their, like, in Canada you can't administer that drug, but the age group that it targets for is the age group that's more susceptible. So I was like, well, this in itself is an issue.
Yeah, so lockdowns are coming. COVID's getting worse everywhere. We tend to follow 2 months behind Europe. I think we might be in trouble.
Spotify purchased Buddy Labs, which is a sports-focused social audio app called Locker Room, similar to Clubhouse, because they are trying to push for that. So that's some news that I think is interesting, given some of the rooms that I've been recently on Clubhouse. So Spotify is looking to kind of get into this space, but in a different way.
Twitter
Oh,
is too. Their whole Twitter Meet thing drops, I think, April 1st.
Hall of Fame. I know a lot of you are trading that. Just announced that they're starting a fantasy league. Also,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I mean, hey, it's another thing. Also, DraftKings acquired Vegas Sports Information Network, which is another multi-platform broadcast content company delivering trusted sports betting news, analysis, and data. Since 2017, 18 hours plus of live linear sports betting content each day. And honestly, I have yet to hear a bad thing about DraftKings. They seem as though they're loading up and getting ready to just deliver a bunch of content in the sports gambling sector, and I'm into it. I'm long.
So
I
a
might be
couple
the
of
only. Oh, sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Alec. You got it.
I was just going to say I might be the only one trading this stock, but Genius Brands finally announced their Stan Lee content collaboration with Marvel Studios, which should give it a good, nice little pump.
Yeah, but
Genius to 350.
has anybody ever heard of
Better
any
be.
of the titles that they're gonna do in this Marvel
Oh yeah,
collaboration? Like
it's
it's
complete crap, but three
Oh yeah,
dollars and
it's
fifty
like
complete
cents.
crap.
that's you
I'm
can't
getting
say
to know.
Marvel and then it's like anybody from Marvel that we
Like
know. Like
nobody
no,
thinks
it's
Genius
not.
No,
is gonna
no,
be
no, no.
Roku or anything like that. Like, give me my $3.50, and I'm getting out.
Completely agree, Chris. That's how I feel as well.
But yeah, I was gonna say Virgin Galactic had news this morning. Also, GameStop had news, but Virgin Galactic's was a little bit more interesting.
Hey Chris, you want to tell us what that news was, or you just
Yeah,
want to?
they unveiled the VSS imaging, the first spaceship in its growing fleet. So yeah,
Do you have
um,
pics? Have you seen it? Do you like it?
I'm looking into it. I haven't really had time to do everything except for oil today, which is what I was about to go back to. The fact that we got some price targets upgrades, including American Airlines. Roku and Viacom, of course, after they got beat up. But I was been talking about like my dip buys and the fact that my dip buys after the Suez Canal was going to be looking at travel to open back up because in addition to the fact that these airlines, I mean this oil and everything is being held up, like that's not stopping people from traveling. Yesterday, foot traffic hit the second highest mark it's been ever. So it was like 1.6 billion people traveling. I mean, million people traveling in foot traffic in airports. That was yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult thing. I never expected the Suez Canal thing to affect travel at all. But what it has affected is shipping prices. And another thing that I don't know much about, but I'll do some research on, has to do with the insurance companies that have insured these cargoes. Apparently, this is an Armageddon level situation for them because, right, the delay was intense. This is unprecedented, and this will absolutely have later ongoing effects on a fiscal level for a lot of these companies. So there will be a blowout. Somebody's going out of business for sure.
Yep, definitely. Two. I've got two more things. So Hyundai joins the semiconductor shortage list. They stopped production as well. So yeah, we talk about this almost on a daily basis, and like here's somebody else coming to the front line saying they don't have the semiconductors to make things work. Um, so, and then we
Disrespectful.
also have PayPal announcing today that they're starting allowing consumers to use crypto.
Yeah,
So,
Ethereum specifically, I think, to complete transactions.
yeah, it might be a Bitcoin day play. So, if you guys got Bitcoin on your watch list, I'd look at them.
Isn't that nuts that like PayPal accepts Ethereum and somehow Bitcoin is gonna like potentially benefit from that price change? Like I don't see it, man.
T-Mobile is partnering with Google to do YouTube TV service. Did we talk about that?
We talked about it yesterday, I think.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
I think it came out late yesterday.
They're doing what, Vanessa? I heard T-Mobile had TV, but they're partnering with YouTube now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
It's gonna be
Subscribe to Google's YouTube TV service. Yeah.
I mean, well, for everybody who doesn't want to like buy Goog, it's T-Mobile is way significantly more affordable. I don't know that there's going to be like some sort of significant price change, but I'm sure we'll see an upgrade come at some point. For Roku specifically, 367 price target is something I'm really into. And I don't know. I'm down looking at the year, especially in terms of the upsides in revenue and EBITDA. I really like Roku, and I see them as continuing to have constructive growth on that side. So up 1.3% in the pre. Anyways, with that said, you guys want to get to a quick watch list before we run out of time?
Well, I just wanted to add really quick. Good morning, guys. I
Good morning,
just wanted to
Shanice.
add. Hey guys. So I just wanted to add really quick. I don't know if you guys talked about it yesterday, but Visa accepting crypto too. So they're going to be on my watch list again today.
Oh yeah, we're into it. Definitely worth watching. Okay, one last thing. So we saw like a lot of the major banks have large pullbacks related to this Tiger Cub incident. And in fact, some of them had significantly large pullbacks. And you know me, I see this as a buying opportunity. I'm definitely looking at Goldman and Sachs, Wells Fargo, JPM. I will not be touching Credit Suisse. I will not be touching some of the more major hit ones, especially ones that say that that the block sales actually affected their bottom line. However, I do see like what happened in XLF. This sector has been piping hot, and I'm happy for the pullback because it really, really is a buying opportunity, especially if as we have rising yield rates. This is the sort of economic weather that a bank actually does well in, and I think that they will continue to do well. So especially the ones that say that they're not really heavily affected and were able to get out before everybody started selling, I think this is a great buying opportunity, and they will be on my watch list.
All right, cool. So my pick is CSCW. They have NFT news and it's CoStar Technology. The company's NFT business will focus on copyright procurement, concert videos, and ticket sales, as well as music and artist interactions. And so, yeah, I'm looking at that. But I do want to see the artists and things that they have signed. So I'll be doing some DD on that, and I'll drop it in the Discord.
Vanessa, what are you looking at for today?
Guys, I am not looking at anything. I'm chilling.
That's one for the chill. Liv, what are you looking at for today?
Same. I am chilling. I'm gonna just at the end of the day look at stocks that have moved on the scanner and then just buy puts, and that's it.
We're following the bot, Liv. Fire it up.
Fire up the bot. I'm buying puts on the bot for sure. Alec, what are you looking at for the day?
My cash.
Wow, boys, we see a lot of fear in the market. Okay. Yo, am I the only one who has full intentions of trading today? Rev, what are you looking at, man?
I'm just sitting on my hands today. I'm waiting on that limit to snag on the S&P put. Have a little bit, more time on that. So yeah, I'm just chilling.
Beautiful.
I'm trying to get
Marcus.
like Alex.
We're all trying to get like Alec and step our property game up. It's super inspirational. Marcus, what are you looking at for the day, man?
I guess I'm the oddball for today. I'm looking at Biocept. So Biocept.
No, Marcus, we trade. Fuck that.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, I'm trading the news, man. So Biocept last year they did about 1.8 million on Q4, and they just announced Q4. I'm sorry, the year before that, 2019, they had 1.8 million. In 2020, they had 18.5 million. They do PCR testing, and of course, with the COVID, that's a lot of PCR testing. So they're expecting that to go up with these variants. So I just got into that pre-market. Biocept ticker is BIOC. Entry point for me was $6.29 right at VWAP, and I'm just watching it go up. Exit point, looking to get out probably about 630, no, 696. Sorry.
I love that. Yeah, Siobhan, what are you looking at for the day? Oh, he might be busy. And Shanice, what are you looking at for the day?
I'm watching Pens, of course. Visa, definitely. Pinterest is new. I added to my list. I'm watching Upstart too to see if they're gonna have some pullback.
Oh, before you
And
get too deep into this, are you looking at charts? Can you give us some price targets or just
oh
an entry
no,
that you're
I'm
into?
sorry. I'm sitting in the bed. Sitting in the bed. I'm gonna drop it in. I'm gonna drop it in the Discord. All my stuff in the Discord, and of
All
course,
right,
I'm
that's
watching
fine.
Bowen, and I'm preparing. Hopefully, that it's gonna run for Bowen for sure. I can't tell you the numbers, but I'm gonna drop it in Discord. So Bowen, Penn National Gaming, of course. Visa because of the crypto news. Pinterest is new. I'm watching it to see what's going on with that. What else did I say? I forgot.
Upstart.
I'll drop it in Discord. But those are on my watch list for today. But I'm actually looking to actively trade today.
Yeah, I love it. For me specifically, I definitely will be looking in industrials and kind of seeing. I've seen a lot of really good news on the GE side. I don't know if this is still an opportunity or not. I've definitely been really excited about like Amazon and DoorDash and what they're doing in terms of COVID delivery. I think that's really, 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 really important, and hasn't really been valued into the way the price is reacting. I live in e-commerce, so I'm always looking at all of those, whether it's Amazon, SE makes our list on a consistent basis. Coupang, Melly, whatever. Jumia, which is on a discount, and I think still needs time to cool off, to be honest. But for the most part, I do agree with you guys, and don't let me just because I'm so cavalier, and I'm a day trader primarily, so of course I'm looking to trade consistently. However, much like you, I think I have a lot of stocks that I'm looking at, but the trade I'm most likely to take will either be volatility or an overall sector, or potentially even the market. I love trading SPY. Trading the NASDAQ recently has also been easy via TQs and SQs. And I also sometimes trade the Russell because that price action has been dramatic on both the upside and the downside. So for any of those, I could talk about my SPY entry, which I would love to buy in at 393 if we can take a pullback all the way down there. On my SQ's entry, which let's see here. I'd love to get a chance to buy below 13. I don't think that we're going to get it even under 1375 as we move through the day would be an interesting one. We definitely capped up insane over the past few days. And so once again, when we see like the NASDAQ being shaky, you can definitely trade both the upside and the downside via other vehicles as opposed to having to buy puts or calls. But with that said, we're kind of out of time. Does anybody have anything else that they want to add, or we'll get to the affirmations part of our day? All right, let's do it. I've really been enjoying starting my days off with gratitude. I'm really grateful for all of you in the stage and on the wow, on the stage and in the audience. I'm grateful for this time that we spend together every morning preparing for our day. It's fun. It makes me feel good, and I'm great. And I don't take it for granted. I know that we're all adults and we have things going on. So, once again, I am patient. I am calm. I am prepared. I'm prepared to take a position at confirmation. I'm prepared to trade to a plan. I'm prepared to wait for the right trading opportunity and ready to maximize on that opportunity when it presents itself. I will not trade based on fear. Every time that I take a trade will be the right time. I'm grateful for the market. I'm prepared for what the market is going to bring to me, which is success. I can be profitable. I am a profitable trader. I will continue to be a profitable trader. And last but not least, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be in the market to make some generational wealth, not for myself, but for the people that I care and love about. Thank you so much, everybody. Click the house on the top. If you haven't joined our club, we'll see you after market today. I hope you all have a great green trading day. This is
Have a great
Stockcast
day,
saying we're out
everyone.
of here.
Hey, stay blessed.